morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Check, 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 check. 1, 2. This thing on. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Can you dig it? First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Season 7, Love Supreme.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Check 1 2 1 2.
Check, check, check. This thing on. How we sounding? How we looking? Let us know something.
All right.
I see you, RG.
Tech is working. Tech is working. Thanks for joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Once again for a fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey.
It is March 1st. Friday, March 1st, 2024. I get the date right this time? Yes.
Yeah, you did. You did, man. It's March 1st, 2.0.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. Well, I don't know about that because you know what the first means to us around here, grown folks.
Man.
Means the rinse.
My back.
My neck and my back.
Man.
But it is Friday, so that's something, and it's supposed to be very good weather out here in Omaha, Nebraska. So
okay.
shout out to the bipolar nature of the weather around.
Man.
It's gonna be a happy weekend. So that's what's up. Appreciate that. And let us know. This is gonna be an extensive half today. Let us know what you're gonna do for sure. But before we get into all that, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm all right. Feeling good. Feeling great. A lot of, interesting and inspiring conversations. We always talk about creativity, and we kind of had a conversation about being an eternal learner. So just learning new things, man. I'm excited about that. Of course, as we've been talking about the TikTok situation and really taking a step, albeit maybe a little late step. We definitely should have been doing this, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm definitely excited and again eager to learn more about just the social media, the algorithms, and get into the thing.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, I kind of think we moved in on the TikTok thing at the right time because if we'd have done it too early, then it'd have been just associated with all the dance crazes and so on and so forth. Now, though, I just heard an article this morning on the radio talking about this woman who's blowing up on TikTok who's doing 10-minute long videos about living with her abuser husband. And she's done 500 of these 10-minute videos now. People are following her because they want to hear that she's like making it episodic. So each time she has a different part of the story. She tells and everybody wants to go tune in and find out her updates. With that, and then the stuff that we've been researching about how news outlets are using TikTok. I mean, I think we came in on the right time when TikTok kind of grew up a little bit.
Man. So yeah, again, a big shout out if you haven't already. Check us out on TikTok. Again, shout out to those who already have commenting and sharing and things like that. We definitely appreciate the support. Because we're trying to again meet the people where they are, get in front of some new eyes, expand, grow. I think the word is scale. That's a business word I've been trying to focus on some scalability.
EYL of you right there. I like
that. Yeah. If you got some business owners out there, man, scaling. How can we scale? How can we grow, expand? You know what I mean? So big shout out to everybody who's helping us out. And again, let us know where you are. Are you a YouTube shorter? You kind of find yourself scrolling on YouTube shorts, or are you still on Instagram? We just jumped back on Twitter. We kind of stepped away from Twitter for a while. Figure out it's still going down over there. So yeah, let us know.
Really real. It's going down right here this morning, so I appreciate everybody coming on in early, giving us the good mornings.
Yes.
Got a shout out from our 6:30 crew over there saying the mix was good. Appreciate you. Shout out to Beth who's checking us out over there on the radio channel. You can always go to firstguyomaha.com, hit the listen button, and check out the radio channel that we got over there. Also, good morning to Tamika Johnson giving us some sunshine. It's supposed to warm up today, so appreciate all the sunshine wishes. Man. Pop says good Friday morning, First Guy, and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. RGN looking. I see you. That's what's up. Rochelle Moreno gives us a good morning. I appreciate that. RG says BZ got by leap year.
Yeah, man, they got me. They got me. It's come on, it's arbitrary, man. The time. Do you believe in the concept? Do you?
The concept is fluid. That's for real. That's for real.
Man.
We did get one extra day of Black History Month this year though, so we wilding out a little bit.
This year was extra black.
A little, a little extra smattering of black. This
Man.
Judy Prinzer gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Maggie Miller Jenkins gives us a good morning.
Hey.
Thanks for everybody who has been dropping stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha and
It's-
also giving us love over there on the TikTok, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, thank you. It's Majee.
Majee. Did I say Maggie again?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I gotta wake up all the way. My bad.
It's all right. It's all right. He ain't had enough drunk ship coffee yet. That's just what it is.
Drunk ship on for real. It's one of them. It was a little bit of a rough morning this morning. I definitely was up a little later than I should have been and woke up a little earlier than I usually do. So
Oh, okay. Burning the candle on both ends, man.
both ends, bro. So yeah, man. But hey, we got people that are working harder than us out here. Like Kimber Snipes is giving us a good morning. Hardest
System
working
out of
woman in
town.
politics.
Yeah. But definitely I see what you did there. Shout out camera coming in. Good morning to you. Man, but yeah, how you doing, Paul? Sorry, you tired,
Yeah.
boss? How's it going?
A little tired, but I'm doing good, man. I'm excited about what we're going to be getting into today for sure, because there's some things to talk about in a big way. Yeah, and then of course, and I'm pulling halves today. Like we always say, we're going to do an extensive halves, and then we get down to the wire because everybody's talking about the thing we're trying to talk about, and then we don't. We got to go past and all that. We're going to break and do an extensive haps today. There's a lot going on this weekend and coming up this week, especially as well.
Yeah. Early next week.
Pretty big events. So we're going to get on that and talk about those things and more. And of course, anything that you want to talk about too, like Buddy says, what's on your hearts and minds.
Yeah, man.
That's what we're here to do. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
Hey.
And once again, just want to thank everybody for coming to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's start the show.
What up? Good morning. Once again, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
You
know what it is. I'm Paul B. He's Buddi3 Da Gawd. You are the chat chimers. We got ghost listeners in the house, and we got radio listeners. Appreciate you coming in on this Friday, March 1st, 2024. You the kind of people that get up and say, hey, it's the first of the month. Let me set my intentions for the month. Are you guys planners that way? It's always the beginning of the month, beginning of the week, Mondays. That's kind of when I like resort to starting whatever it is I'm going to start next. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, so I always think about that. And then, of course, for grown folks, all the first means is the rent's due. So, yeah, is what it is. I see Brother Kasim in the chat. He says, peace. I'll be on our land today doing some building and organizing during this beautiful weather. That's what's up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's the haps for the day for sure. Still got to get out there now. I got a little bit more flexibility with my time on my hands. I'm gonna have to try to get out there and check the land out, hang with y'all brothers a little bit, see what you guys got building, see if I can get my hands dirty, maybe see what's happening.
Okay, use some of them gloves Mayor Sanchez brought out there.
There you go, man. Shout out to Mayor Sanchez. Ariel's 402 says, if you believe in the Big Bang, in the realm of time, humans have only been around for a second. Okay. In the grand scheme of time, that's what we're saying, man. Time is something else. You don't know what time is.
That part.
Flexible concept. Kimmer says, y'all about to help me on my morning walk again. That's what's up. Appreciate you taking us with us on your phone with your earbuds in on a walk. That's a great way to get busy here. Of course, every time you chime up, you probably got to pull over, stop, type away.
Find a bench.
Yeah, because you still managed to contribute even though we're on the walk with you. So appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Let us know if you see Mark Manor out there.
Yeah, riding his bike. Cameron Snipes says, someone tell me how the DED can get and distribute money in 6 months with any other part of this issue of this state, but people here have been waiting for 18 months. Well, if it's any indication about the process there, we can tell you a little bit about it because we're still in contact, still sending over documents. This is
Man,
nine. This is the ninth, 10th time now. Yeah, it's we
it's a
go.
thing.
We talked about doing a pretty comprehensive look at how the process after this is over because we got the paper trails for sure. So yeah, we'll be talking about it. Like I said, I mean, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking they've been saying from the jump that this is something new and different. They had to start the office in North and South Omaha because they didn't have offices for it before. So the people that they were working with before, apparently this all these processes are all smooth sailing. So the fact that they had all this feedback, they had to get with like cats like Stable Gray to sit and make their statements. This is all kind of new to the DED, and
Hmm.
plus they had a big change in leadership in the middle of all of it too. So lots of things, and one of these days we'll be able to have them on and talk to them about the process too. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
So there you go. Ariel's 402 says, hit the like button on your way in and close the door. You weren't born in the barn.
All
Curious,
right.
curious, there's no Airbuses. Laugh aloud. I use my speaker. Oh, no Airbuds. She's your speaker. Everyone gonna hear you. That's what's up.
Okay. Okay. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, that's what's up. What's up? What's happening, y'all? Kimber walking around with the boom box on her shoulder, just letting everybody hear what's happening. That's what's up. What's the haps? What's
Hey,
happening?
what's happening?
Jay Carter in the chat says, top of the morning to our brothers of broadcast excellence. Wow, appreciate that compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Yep, Kimber says the DED gives away big money though. It still doesn't make sense to me, but that's me.
No, it's not just you.
Yeah,
It's not just you.
what I think about is like, why do we have to try to make sense of something? Can't somebody just
Hmm.
come tell us what's going on? We gotta
Hmm.
be deciphering stuff like detectives all the time around here. Just get, what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just come and tell us what's going on. That's all. What's wrong with that? Make me take my headphones off. I'm getting upset. Man,
Some furniture moving.
man. Jaquala Yarbrough in the chat says, hey, y'all, what's going on? Good
Hey, hey,
morning, good
hey.
morning to you. We have to talk to you, bring you on the show, talk about what your run and what's going on with you as well. So
Yeah.
appreciate you joining us this morning. Juana Lewis gives us a good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. So YouTube and Facebook is working, and we appreciate that. I'm glad the tech is teching right today. And I appreciate everybody that's coming on. If you do us a favor, share the show if you would, so we can try to get as many people in the chat as we can. I always leave this window open and it pops up on me every time. Who's in my house? What's going on? But yeah, we appreciate everybody that's here, and please share the show so we can get as many people in to talk. Definitely lots of things to talk about today. Maybe we can jump into some of those things. What's the topics of the day, buddy? What's on the agenda?
Yeah, yeah. Again, we kind of talked about it on Wednesday. The series from NPR's Marketplace. They just dropped a new installation in that. So again, if you frequent NPR or if you don't, check them out. Check them out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Again, the series is called Democracy in the Desert. Looking at again news deserts across the nation and its effect on voting. It is voting season. We are talking about voting, trying to get the numbers up in our community. And still looking at the impact of news on that. So yeah, might get into that. Also, big shout out to chat chimers out there. If you're not a part of the Friends of First Sky page, go ahead and join that group page. There's a lot of links to articles, a lot of conversation happening on there that we might have here on the show and stuff we're not talking about on the show. So check
Right.
it out. A few people have dropped some things in there, definitely that we do want to talk about. Big shout out to IB Black Girl getting some national
Hey,
recognition. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. IB Black Girl doing it big as always. Man.
Ashley
Yeah,
Vaughn.
yeah,
What's up?
yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I definitely want to give them some light, give them a shout out. Also, looking at what's going on with this whole school tax credit situation.
Hmm.
I'm expecting a lot of conversation surrounding this. There's actually a few things to unpack. There's been some back and forth between Senator Linehan, who authored the Opportunity Scholarship Act bill. But of course, we've been watching this and kind of looking at it over the last year or so. Again, that bill is set to go to the ballot on in November. But again, Senator Linehan is trying to stop that, and there's a lot of back and forth. Again, a lot to unpack with this situation. So we will definitely be getting into this, but also some news out of Omaha World Herald about some things going on, some affordable housing things going on in the community. Shout out to my man Don Curry. If you remember, he had the Omaha Rockets canteen down on the Deuce, and
Still,
now it looks like he's trying to develop some things. So again, we'll
I wish you go back in the kitchen and develop some more of them turkey tacos because dang,
Man, yeah,
miss
man,
them.
yeah, man. Them soul raps, yeah. Yeah. But again, we'll definitely be talking about that. And got tipped off to some things happening with the OHA. We've been looking at again what brother Sherman Wells is doing, trying to keep OHA accountable. And now there looks like there will be a coming to truth meeting. We'll see. So we'll talk about all that and more. As always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Again, we're here to talk to you about what matters to you the most.
Right on. Those are today's discussion points. We're gonna jump into it. Getting back in the chat real quick. Kimmer says, "Paul, play the song for DED." Paul, what's that? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Here you go, DED.
Yeah.
This is for y'all.
What's the house? What's happening? What's going down?
What's going down, DED? Where the money at?
Man, yeah.
Where the money at?
What am I?
Let us know what is going on. We need to know what is happening with what's happening, and it would be nice if we can get somebody from DED on the show and talk about it a little bit more. Because if you think about it, we've been doing a bunch of speculation over the past 3 or 4 months about what's happening, trying to decipher stuff again, having to be detectives around here, Hardy boys around here, trying to figure things out. It doesn't make any sense. We're in communication here. Why can't we get with them and see what's happening? Why can't we? Why don't we understand what's going on? So there it is. Kimber's also giving us some news. Ashley is also filed to run for state senate.
In Justin's district. Okay.
We talk about succession plan for Justin and maybe her. Man, that's some news right there. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it
Appreciate
is.
letting us know that. Yeah, that's what's up. Jaquella Yarborough says it's important to know that nonpartisan candidates like myself cannot get on the primary ballot for May. Only after the primary can we petition to be on the ballot in November and begin collecting signatures. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we got a lot to talk to you about for sure.
Actually, did see on Friends of there was a some video talking about non-partisan candidates. Here it is. Majee Miller Jenkins says nonprofit hosts 2024 presidential debate for third party or independent candidates. So it was a presidential debate. But yeah, that's a good point as far as we talked about it. Where do we see independent candidates? Where how do they get their voices heard or put their hat in the ring, if you will?
There you
Thanks
go.
for that. Thanks for that.
Right on. Speaking to Maggie Miller Jenkins, she says, she's thanking Ms. Yarborough for dropping that. Tony Johnson in the chat says, Senator McKinney has some great moments this week in the hearings. Yep. Can't wait to talk to him about those when he comes in on Monday for sure. He says, keep an eye on the bill for arming people in the schools. Yeah, we're still talking about that bill they're pushing, trying to get teachers to be armed. That's seems so wild to me. But anyway, Ms. Yarborough says, I'm running for Douglas County Board District 3. Okay, cool. So I'll have to go on my map and find out what area that covers.
Okay.
Stephen Everseth says, remember, money from DED will be distributed in increments. That was written in by the creators of the bill. Okay, so incremental. Like I said, it'd be simple for them to just come on and talk about what's happening. So
Lay it out. Yeah, make it plain. Make it plain. Speaking of laying it out, Camera dropping some news on us too.
Yep.
She says, I'm also nonpartisan candidate. I filed for school board. Okay. Don't call it a comeback.
It's been here for years. Yo, but Kimra, like you do a lot. You want to take this on again too?
Too many jobs, man.
You need jobs, man. You might need to, hey, give yourself a break. I know the feeling of the pull because you know what's going on. You see the changes. You can help. And a lot of times we feel like obligated. We were just talking about this last night. Sometimes we feel like the weight of the black community is on our shoulders in a lot of ways, and it stretches us thin. Every time I go talk to anybody, any mentor of mine, they're just like, yeah, nah, you should charge them for that. Nah, you're doing too much on there. Nah, you got to give that one up. Like I'm getting this advice left and right. that just because you feel the pull and the natural progression of what it is you're doing puts you in a space doesn't mean that you're supposed to grab at it all the time. It's not, we got to pare back and figure out how to refine the thing that we're doing, not expand so much all the time. So,
Mhm.
um, you know, I think that when I think about how hard Kimra Snipes is working, and I think that she gonna join the school board, I'm like, whew, it makes me worry for your self care. That's all I'm saying. But you're on a walk right now, so you doing better than me with the self care. So
What you call
you'll
the
see.
gym? Call him James.
So I'm so unfamiliar with the gym. I call him James. We're gonna try to change that up this season, though. Because by the end of the year, I want to be able to get in there with Brother Kasim and them
Hey.
hold my own. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening. Mr. Yarbrough says North Omaha. That's the district we're looking for. Appreciate that information there.
Yep.
Kimber Snipes says County Board District 3 is Chris Rogers.
There you go.
Maggie Miller Jenkins says Iowa just passed a slew of horrible bills that were written by MAGA lobbyists. Can't say I'm surprised. Can't say I'm surprised. Kimber Snipes says school board allows me the opportunity to not do everything else. Okay, got
Okay.
you.
But
Got
work.
you.
Okay.
But work. Okay, there you go. There you go. Tony Johnson said, "Please tell me she's running against Ricky Smith." I don't think so. I think he's still in there.
Yeah. Who are you running against, Kimra? Who's the incumbent right now? What district?
Is that how that works? You got to run against somebody in the district? In
I
school?
think so. I think every seat is filled. Let us know. Are you running against anybody? Are you running unopposed? What's the deal with that?
I tell you what, thinking about her and Brianna Full on the board together, the new dynamic duo sounds pretty enticing to me. I hope it goes down. Actually,
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, she says the incumbent is not running. I already talked to her about my opponent is Eric Surveillon. Not familiar. Yeah, not familiar. Okay.
It's not ringing the bell. So, guess I'm voting.
Yeah. Same here. I don't know, but okay, that's interesting. We definitely have to, have you on and talk about it.
Most deaf. We were long overdue having you on anyway. So, yeah, appreciate all the work that you're doing, all the stuff that you give us behind the scenes. Like I said, I mentioned this, buddy. I didn't even tell you about the speech I made at the BAA's the Black Power weekend that we had. We talked a lot about that. I shouted out Kimmer for doing all the back end work that she's been doing, taking the notes, hitting the meetings, and I talked about how we're gonna figure out how to get her compensated for that. We gotta figure out how to put her on deck here because of the nature of our relationship. It's just like, how much would we, she's kind of the research and development person or the fact checker and the, you know what I'm saying, and the representative in the meetings and stuff like that. So I feel like there could be a really good partnership with One Omaha, us, One Omaha, First Guy. You know what I'm saying, and how we can try to figure some of those things out. So I've been thinking back on how invaluable her and her information has been this whole time, and I'm like, yeah, when I think about squad around here, she's first that comes to mind on what we're doing. So.
Yeah.
I had a Holy Ghost moment, Paul.
Okay. There's a reason we call y'all our co-host, man. Shout out to y'all. This is definitely a conversation, and Kimra is definitely going above and beyond on a lot of that. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's really real. It's really real. Who you guys talking about? He's a nice dude, but I only see when he's running for office.
Eric Surveillon guy that we don't know. She said, Kimra says, I'm not surprised that you're not familiar with him. She says he's a nice guy, but I only see him when he's running for office.
We know a few of them. We know a few of them. Mr. Yarbrough says he ran for city council after Vinnie Palermo's exit. Okay, so he got bigger aspirations as well. Sounds like the average local politician. Yeah, RG, for real. Mama God says good morning, First Guy fan. Good morning,
my dukes.
We were just talking about you yesterday too. We have to get together and have some lunch and talk about all the support that you give First Guy Omaha. We appreciate you.
Yeah, squad. Yeah, so definitely appreciate y'all. Everybody coming in. Man, I'm kind of thinking, what should we talk about first? I don't know if we should tease it, save it, or should we just go ahead and dive head first into this whole situation?
I said we should tease it and then jump on the other things real quick and knock those out, and then spend the rest of the time on the big thing.
Okay. Yeah, because let's go ahead and knock this out because there's a lot to unpack with this whole ballot measure school choice story, man. There's several layers to that onion So yeah, we definitely want to allot enough time and spend the majority of the time of the show trying to unpack those things. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into a couple other things, man. Keep this conversation rolling. Again, big shout out to everybody for tuning in with us. Actually, speaking of you know, viewers and chat chimers dropping things on us. Also, big shout out to Michelle Weston. Another chat chimer that's keeping us on our toes with some information. Actually gave us some information. We'll be talking about this later in the haps. But again, OHA is having a meeting on Tuesday, and I bring that up to kind of set up the conversation about housing. Again, this is a conversation that we've been having here for now several years on this show, affordable housing, and kind of juxtaposed to what we've seen with the airport business park situation and on OEDC community members speaking up, afraid about that's fine. Speaking up, afraid about getting their properties taken, afraid about how certain development will impact their neighborhood. And again, the juxtaposition is how Brother Donald Curry handled his situation. Again, this is coming out of Omaha World Herald. We meant to actually talk about this story before it came to a conclusion, so I'm glad it came full circle and things got handled. But if you lived in the area of 16th Street, you might have heard about this. Brother Donald Curry, again, brother in the community. Some might know, be familiar with them. I came familiar with them again when he owned the Rockets Canteen down on the Deuce, right across from the Union of Contemporary Arts. And now apparently he stepped into the development real estate game and kind of ran into some problems. Again, this coming out of the World Herald. Developer met with neighbors, reached a compromise with them, and won Omaha City Council approval for his plan to build affordable apartments on North 16th Street. Again, this is Brother Don Curry. The council previously delayed the vote on Curry's plan for the building because of opposition from several homeowners in the community. Again, we need community input. It's definitely important. So I'm glad this got handled. And a shout out to Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, who urged Curry to meet with neighbors who again objected to the design as being out of character with the historic homes in the area, which again, as we know, 16th has those big, grand, old school homes. It's not quite what Brother Donald Curry was trying to build. Again, the more affordable housing townhome style is what he was looking for. Curry told the council Tuesday, though, that he had taken their advice and met with neighbors and saying it went pretty well. And based on feedback from the meeting, Curry's designer drew up a proposed change. It will give the building the look of a peaked roof instead of a flat one, which apparently was a big concern. And shout out again to Sister Cheryl Weston, who apparently lives in that article or that area. She says the article says she joined others in opposing the plan February 13th and spoke in favor of it on Tuesday. Weston told the council, "I was appreciated from the council to have laid this over and given an opportunity to have engagement. Mr. Curry was receptive to that, and we came up with this new plan change that we found would be appropriate. It does bring into the look of the neighborhood by adding that pitched look." She said the community is always wanting new development and housing in our area. Excuse me. So again, big shout out Cheryl Weston. Big shout out to Brother Donald Curry, kind of laying a foundation and a blueprint of, okay, this is what it looks like. This is at least in the regards of community engagement and allowing the community to kind of have a say so on what they want to see in their area. I would consider Brother Donald Curry as somebody of the community, but again, listening to the people in that specific area is important. To my understanding, we have some other people aside from Sister Cheryl Weston that lives in the area, so I would definitely love to hear from you.
Yep. Appreciate that. Appreciate the information. And also, like you said, we know Donald Curry pretty well. We should have him on the show. Definitely talk about the process.
Yeah.
I think it might serve as a good example of like how you really get with the surrounding area. You talk to them, you compromise, you make changes to design and so on and so forth. A lot different than stuff that's going on. Maybe like around 24th and Lake Street areas and so on and so forth. I can start calling some folks, but I'm just saying, it's a little different. A little different when it comes to how things are being done. You can either kind of be a dictator and just tell us what we have to do and what you gonna do, or you can work with the community a little bit. So shout out to Don Curry who's been doing that, and I definitely would like to have him on to talk about that process a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out too, Miss Yarbo, for sure.
Yeah. Man, Brother Anthony Rogers right in the building. Shout out.
Yo. Hey, hey.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. We still, in as far as the wording of it, he says low income housing. Please, I beg you. There is no such thing as affordable housing, which is something that we've been, trying to figure out. What is the definition of affordable housing? What really is affordable housing, or is it a buzzword? And I definitely think low income housing is more accurate to what the intent, of such development is.
Yeah, and I trust a brother who like the Don Curry, who's if like you said, from the area,
Hmm.
uh, understands the plight, and is going to try to, hopefully he'll get in there and he'll do a development where it will be affordable for some people, more affordable anyway. But yeah,
Right. And going back to some of the process of what he had to go through, again, going to and appealing to city council, which actually, after going to the community and getting the feedback he needed, the council voted 7-0 to approve the. Apparently, he had to get a special kind of zoning approved from city council to build a planned unit redevelopment district, or it's called a PUR for the building. Under that designation, the city would allow Curry to build closer to the street than normal, and create
mm,
less off-street parking than normally required. So again, we're talking about development, we're talking about housing, we're talking about the things our community needs, and talking about the community itself providing that. These are the types of things we need to study and the things we need to be aware of as far as zoning laws. What is the process of appealing to the city council? Who has that information in the community? Let's say I'm somebody who came across a grant or came across some, some finances. I hit big 10,000 on a bet on the Super Bowl or something,
get the
and I wanted
numbers.
to, you know what I'm saying, and I wanted to flip that into some development. Who do I go to for that information? Is the question.
Yeah, good question. Good question. So, yeah, we'll definitely reach out to Brother Curry, see if he want to come on and talk about the process a little bit. Be interesting. It's an interesting thing to me just because of that. Like, there's a lot of opportunity for development in North Omaha. This is the address again, just to show you what the lot looks like now. 3204 North 16th Street is where they're talking about putting this, and this is what the lot looks like now. So, you see some potential there, some land. You can build something on it.
Hmm.
Single family home style place maybe, but maybe for multiple families.
Yep. Yep.
Trees on the lot and so on and so forth. So it'll be a good opportunity to kind of add to the value of the corner, and everybody's property values around there too. So there's a lot to it, and you don't have to be a huge developer. You can start with one building and go for it. So lots there that I think would be great to talk to him about and see how the process went for future for the education of it, in case he, like you said, hit the numbers, come up and do something like
Man,
that again somewhere.
man, I mean,
High
hey,
five.
hit
Living my
big.
dreams.
Man, but hey, maybe we want to pivot and get to the real estate game. I don't know those processes, and I don't know what that is. So again, if anybody out there listening, if any chat chambers has any of that information, definitely please let us know. G Miller Jenkins coming with a interesting comment.
Mhm.
She says, "I would love if the foundation of this conversation could shift to the fact that food, water, and shelter are basic human needs. And deserve to be basic human rights. These talks on housing prices are infuriating because they shouldn't be needed in the richest country in the world. We have 29 homes for every one unhoused person. We don't lack. We have an overabundance of greed."
Mm.
Ooh, yeah. I
Yep.
mean, it's definitely kind of mind boggling how you can have vacant houses. You can have people as houses and houseless people. Like, seems like it should be a very you know,
Yeah.
simple solution.
Most def. We also got to deal with what we got to deal with in this country and survive. So we got to
Yeah,
we
man.
got to look at that too. But yeah, great comment. Appreciate that very much. Yeah. Moving on from that
Mhm, mhm,
situation
mhm.
though, because we definitely got a few more things to talk about today. But I was just thinking about that too. Like our neighborhoods are undergoing change all the time, and it's either big corporations coming in building these big apartment complexes, or it's individuals that are trying to upgrade the properties they own. Or a situation like this, which I feel like is a little bit out of the box. Somebody from the
Mm.
neighborhood that's actually trying to build something in the neighborhood, and keep it so that they can maintain the situation there. We were just talking about other development companies in the neighborhood that sitting on buildings, holding stuff. So it's interesting to think to see somewhere, to hear another story about somebody who's trying to like actually make that corner thrive a little bit. So Yeah, man. It's just a break from that whole corporations or by her building big apartment complexes in our neighborhoods
Yeah, man.
conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a more ideal to what I would like to see as far as development in the community is individuals from the community developing it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
big
I
shout out
did
to
hear
Brother Don Curry.
one more thing though. I did hear
Mm.
a report this morning that the housing whatever housing departments in the country said you have to have 40 more $1,000 on average to be able to buy a house to be in the market these days, which is
Mm.
40 more $1,000 than you did in 2019, 2020.
Man.
So yeah, so that still a very big crisis going on all over the place. A lot of families, including my own, are talking about how we need to shore up the folks that have some homes, they're owning homes now. We need to shore up to make it so they don't lose those homes,
Hmm.
because it's more than now. It's more than just can you find a place to stay. It's more than it's so much more that now. Can you find a place to stay? Can does this is there family members that need to come stay with you because of a housing crisis? Families are trying to get together now, pull together, and make sure that Big Mama keeps the house or whatever the deal is,
Mm.
because you're in trouble. You know what I mean? We're in a little bit of a situation here where it's there's not everybody's in this housing crisis situation. So yeah, if something doesn't happen with the corporate greed situation, then it spirals out of control, which it has.
Man, actually speaking to that, there's a few comments in here that's kind of alluding to like post pandemic and the impact of the pandemic. COVID-19. RG says that greed shot up too after COVID. Folks trying to get back after their pockets got light.
Mhm,
Corporations in that too. Individuals, corporations.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sean McCarthy, good morning. Says adding to the opportunity, there's a ton of post pandemic vacant offices out there that could be turned into affordable housing.
Hmm.
Empire State Building is 75%
Really?
empty. That's what I'm saying. All over the country, it's like that. I'm glad you brought up the vacant offices because, like, yeah, that was I read an article one time that says 75% of the offices in the Empire State Building were empty after the pandemic.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Tony Johnson says even those in our own community building affordable housing cannot tell you what that means. Yeah, definitely. Thing we keep on talking about. We go over and over it again. What does affordable housing mean? And sometimes we find definitions of people that are trying to define it. Other times I don't know. It is a market, so we have to deal with that. There's a lot of people that made some money off of selling their homes in this high market rate situation that we got going on.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just what's the answer? Tony Johnson says nobody gives numbers based on income and family size. Yep, that would be one way to make something affordable. If you look at each individual situation, what happens with market though? What happens with cost of materials to build? Um, Whole thing. Maggie
Yeah.
Miller Jenkins says, how can our elders lose their homes because banks are greedy? How do we let this become normal? Not just banks, but like the tax situation.
Man.
Taxes on the houses in my family went up by thousands of dollars a year.
Mm.
So even if they have their house paid off, they still got to worry about what that hit at the end of the year, or else they can lose it.
We talked about that. It's been reported of families finding out they lost their house in the morning paper over they drunk ship coffee. Man. So yeah, yeah, it's real. It's a real situation.
Shout out
Um,
to our sponsor of the show, Drum Shit. I like how you slid that in there. That's nice.
yeah, 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 yeah. Real smooth, real smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and pivot again because
Yeah.
we do have some other things to dive into. I kind of do like the question though about basic needs and rights. G. Miller Jenkins putting out is housing a right? Also, is news a right? Again, that's the First Amendment. First Amendment, the freedom of the press and freedom of speech. But what do you do when there is no press, where there is no news in your community? That's kind of what's been looking at the topic of the series, Democracy in the Desert from NPR's Marketplace, something that we've been kind of looking at over the last really couple days. They just launched this series, and again, the latest installation was just dropped. Big shout out to I don't know, Paul. Do you want to kind of speak about it? You kind of the one that pulled this
Yeah,
for us.
Well, Marketplace is a show on NPR, national show, and they deep dive into economics and in the money markets and so on. They got a little segment on there where they say, well, let's see how the markets were, and they play we're in the money if it's up, and stormy weather if it's down. They got nice little hooks and stuff like that in order to really kind of learn if you're in it following the money that way. So I thought it was really interesting that they pivoted and said and started talking about news deserts, as in as in how does the lack of news in an area affect people's ideas and people's voting patterns and so on and so forth. This is voting season coming up, so I'm waiting to see how they tie this into economics in the end. But right now, it's really interesting to me that they are doing a series on news deserts and talking about how that affects voting. So they talked about it yesterday. They usually put it in print the day after, so I pulled that one up this just recently.
Hmm.
That's what this one is about today. Just kind of giving an example of a small town that has been struggling and lost their paper, and what those editors had to say about it. So yeah, that's kind of the setup. Did you want to dive into the article at all? Was there some things you pulled out that you thought might be worthy of speaking on?
Well, again, we kind of last time we talked about it, we got into what it means for rural,
Right.
and again the fact that Nebraska has, I believe, 11 counties without any news outlets at all. And then since that conversation, I looked further into it, and there are several areas. Most of the counties throughout Nebraska only have one news outlet. And then I look further into what is a news desert, like what is the actual definition of a news desert, and it says a news desert is an area where there's a lack of comprehensive and comprehend what is the other word, comprehensive and credible, there we go,
Mm.
comprehensive and credible news that makes the readers feel a part of a greater, gives the readers a greater sense of community. And we looked at Douglas County, and it said that Douglas County had 13 news outlets, but hyper locally, North Omaha falls in that category as a news desert. There's a
Right.
very limited access to that kind of information, and that led to me thinking about something we talked about as far as just what it is that we do here on this show, and really wanting to hammer down, like, we want you all to be informed. It's political season, and we're kind of seeing how things are heating up and where things are going. And that's really why I wanted to take this conversation, Paul, as far as what it is that we're doing here, and what it is that we hope our viewers to take from the information that we're given. What it is, just kind of doubling down on that as far as what it is we're trying to do with First Guy Omaha, have host the conversations. Not really trying to tell everybody what to think. Like, we want you to take the information and um
Form your
having you,
form your own opinions on it.
right, and again, our style here is to have that conversation, let everybody kind of speak their piece, and put their portion on the floor, and then build our own opinions based on that, and respect, have the respect and space for people to speak that. So
Right.
we're not going to shut people down. Of course, if there's something that we don't agree with, we're going to challenge that thought, but with respect, with respect, and
Yeah.
with um to get to something, not just to argue and debate, but to get down to some understanding.
Hmm.
Again, as we heat up and getting into this election season, we see that things can get messy. What kind of, I don't even know if we want to get into this latest story out of Nebraska Examiner about what's going on with the African American Commission, the Commission of African American Affairs.
Well, I
But
think we can mention it because it's a story that we were
Mhm.
on. We don't have to have too much discussion about it, but it's
Right,
an
right.
update of what it is that we already kind of established by having certain folks on the show and so on.
Right,
But
right, right,
yeah,
right. But again, as this political season heats up, let's keep the main thing the main thing.
right. That's what's up. So yeah, let me jump to the chat. Chat's kind of getting away from us a little bit. Let
Man,
me
yeah, yeah, I see that.
dive in while you tee up that next thing.
Mhm.
Anthony Rogers Wright earlier said, so you're saying Bidenomics is no different than Reaganomics. Poor and working people are getting the down. It we're still waiting for the trickle. Oh, yeah, the trickle. We getting the down and still
No
waiting for
trickle
the trickle.
down.
Yeah, no trickle down yet. Right, right. Um, Brother Pena is in the chat. Good morning. Says, where were the COVID funds? Yeah, some people got some. He says that I rent mine for 550. So he's talking about some properties that he might have. That he's renting for a certain amount. Up to me, landlords can be super greedy, increase taxes. I was renting at 400 until pandemic hit, and,
Mm.
and you had to up it to 550. Sounds like so. Yeah, that's when we think about what's affordable for rent is concerned. That's definitely sounds affordable to me. So, that's where it is. Ariel's 402. Mayor Sanchez says, if someone didn't drink, gamble, smoke, and go out and eat for 1 year, could add up to a deposit on a home. Might be something to look into. I think it's not lost on me to think there's some personal things that we also got to do. There's
Yeah.
is housing a right? Is somebody was asking in the question? Is it a right to be to have housing? What is it that the personal responsibility is on that subject as well? Good question to bring up. What it is that you need to do in order to be able to secure those things.
Hmm.
Sean McCarthy in the chat says, I view affordable housing the same way I view housing for middle class individuals. Affordable housing should be roughly 25 to 33% of a household's take home income. Okay. So, problem is we have lots of minimum wage jobs and people that don't have a living wage in the first place. So what
Right.
happens to that rent, and how does that work out in economically? So,
Yeah. Because
go ahead.
well, just the conundrum, like you said, the conundrum with that is if 30% of what you're making is well below the market value, then
That's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah, what do you do?
yeah. How does the economics work on that? If you're not making a living wage, then if you're making $1,000 a month or something, then 20, where are you gonna find a place that's $250? Or that's not even 25% of that. It's just the math doesn't math on it, and it just you got to start with the living wage first in order to even reach that equation. I feel like for Ariel's 402 says nothing is a right, even life is a privilege. Okay, so we got some
Okay.
different way of thinking on that. Maggie Miller Jenkins says, this is what I mean by a shifting conversation. All this intersectionality linked in greed and colonialism,
Mm.
poverty and ignorance are billion-dollar industries with us as the food to keep the machine running. I hear that. Yeah. Kimber Snipes in the chat says, yeah, Mutual of Omaha needed a whole new office building, talking about the vacant buildings while others are building skyscrapers. Kimber Snipes says, be sure to ask McKinney what happened with his intern hearing on defining affordable housing. Good thing to remind us to talk to him about when he comes on the show Monday. Tamika Renee is
Peace.
Miss Yarbrough. Yeah, peace. Thanks for coming in. You have until the end of business day today to pay your fee to be listed and apply as a candidate with Douglas County Election Commission. There's less than 2 candidates per party. It will not appear on the primary ballot in May, but will appear on the general ballot in November. That's the standard. Okay,
Okay.
so some information there. I hope that information helps. Tony Johnson says North Omaha needs a credible media that can be picked up by other media sources. Okay,
Right.
agreed.
Right.
Reginald Clark gives us a good morning, fellas. What's happening, Reggie?
Hey,
C?
Reggie C.
RG in the chat says, when I was in the process of buying a house, I was renting a 3-bedroom spot in Lincoln for $750 a month. It's not a bad price for what's going on right now.
Man.
That was affordable for me at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's such a it's really a subjective. What is affordable? It'd be easy to kind of put an easy definition on it, but again, there's more to it than just if the housing is affordable. It's also if you're making a living wage to be able to pay that.
Right.
What's affordable for you? Tony Johnson says, what industry in North Omaha can provide a livable wage? The push for small business development is great, but is not enough to provide income for affordable housing. True. Tamika Renee says, will you be participating in town halls up until the election? Hopefully so. Best of luck to you. I guess she's still talking to Miss Yarborough. So I appreciate you guys speaking to each other in the chat. So anyway, yeah, this is one of these ongoing subjects. Affordable housing has been something that we've been talking about since season 3. Space is the place.
Man.
Um, before that, yeah, for sure. So yeah, these are questions that are going to continue, and I think things have even gotten worse since then.
Mm.
We're in season 7 right now. Season 3 was us deciding space is the place was the name of the season because of all the conversation we had before that season
Right,
about
right.
affordable housing. So it's been a while, a couple years. We've been intensely talking about this regularly, and so that's not going to stop. And the situation I feel like has gotten worse.
Mm.
Prices have definitely gone up since then. And within that meantime, we've learned that there's a bunch of out of state corporations coming in, building apartment complexes. So, and then of course those apartments are starting at $1,200 for a one bedroom. Lacking single family homes. We've talked to people that are in the construction industry that said materials have gone up 500%. Which is the reason why there's a slow in building new homes, especially single family homes.
Mm-hmm.
Much more cost effective to build an apartment complex than it is to build a tract of single family homes. So still lots to talk about there. Tony Johnson said too many things that are requesting more funding rely on property taxes. Cannot see it changing until the school district fixes things in a way to not require so much funding for just waste. Yep. That's definitely part of this too. Property taxes, it all ties together. It leads into how schools get funded. So, all ties together. We'll continue on with this conversation always. As you can see, this is an evergreen topic for us when it comes to housing. At this point in time, we are constantly out here looking at resources and other solutions and things like that, because that's just the nature of it, man. Even just for your own personal self and household and families,
Mm-hmm.
you got to stay up on it. So, Kimmer, shout out to Kimmer for sending us information on the land bank.
Man,
If they got coming up, it's something to keep in touch with and your eye on as well. Because there's properties, especially in North and South Omaha, that are still available through the land bank. Some of those became not available because of developers coming in on them. And some of them weren't even listed that the land bank owned. We found out over time. So land bank is still a very important entity to monitor and keep your eye on and be a part of when we're thinking about space in North Omaha. Yeah, good one too. Marianne Williams, good morning. Says morning. A bill criminalizing homelessness was heard yesterday. Senator McKinney's frustration level was palpable. So they were talking about what he went in on the session yesterday, big time.
yeah, we haven't really talked about that. There's actually been several stories kind of, pointing to what's going on with our homeless, our houseless brothers and sisters in the community, and the move to outlaw these tent cities and things like that. And what that means for our houseless brothers and sisters, and where they're going to go next. Especially, I think there's been an uptick in. There was a change in the panhandling laws a couple years ago in Nebraska, and it's now kind of reaching a point of, is this an issue? Is this what's going on with this? Yeah, right. So we definitely have to thank you, Marianne Williams, for talking about that. Man,
Sure.
yeah, definitely have to ask another question for Senator McKinney on Monday.
Yep. Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and jump into a few other things we wanted to talk about today. Just a reminder, we're going to have an extensive HAPS a little later on today. Lots going on this weekend and next week. So get your HAPS together. Every show, if you follow our show, we say it all the time. We're going to have an extensive HAPS. And then we get down to the wire and we get so caught up in talking about the subjects. Doesn't always work out, but we're going to try to work it out today because we did pull a few things that we want to dive into. So if you have HAPS and things going on you think we need to be checking out, and go ahead and get those set up for the end for a little bit later on in the show. And in the meantime, between time, we'll take a quick break. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be the dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Yeah, man.
All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, stay tuned. We will be right back. And don't you go nowhere. Tell a friend too.
Hey.
I always forget to tell people that. Tell them we on. It's live right now, baby. We live. Let's go. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. Shout out to the chat chimers who've already been ordering some of this drunk ship
Hey.
coffee. That's what's up. The fam in California is like, oh, we getting orders from Nebraska already. We worldwide. They feeling worldwide. Man. So that's what's up, man. Drunk ship coffee in the house. The family has been working with a one farm in Ethiopia, sourcing beans in Ethiopia, and we're finding out Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee, which is really interesting. So all the things that we're learning as we're dealing with the farm in Ethiopia on this, ethically sourced beans, the whole nine, man. So you're getting down with it, expanding already. So shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee, the fam. Shout out to you, the chat chimers and the fam that's been ordering. Go to drunkshipcoffee.com and order you some bags, man. I got a couple bags on the way too. So we'll be doing some giveaways on the show for you to test them out, try them out. Yeah, it's going down.
For all you Joe drinkers.
Yep, that's what's up. So appreciate that very much. Buddy, how you feeling over there, man?
Man, I'm all right. Feeling good. About halfway through the show. So big shout out to everybody who's joined us so far, joining the conversation, or if you just ghost listening, going through your morning. Thanks for tuning in with us. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. As always, tell a friend and tell a friend. We live. You can always also come check out the replay on your YouTube, also Facebook. We're there as well. But, we prefer you to check us out on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we here. We doing the thing. The chat's going off. So appreciate y'all. RG. Yeah. We're gonna keep moving on that one. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Jumping into the chat. Check out what's going on there. A lot of things happening, a lot of conversations happening amongst the chat chimers. So yeah. I'm all right. How about you, Paul? How we doing?
Doing all right, man. I'm seeing Rick Fulton in the chat. Rick Fulton is on the subject that we're kind of talking about right now. So I'm giving some love there. Rick Fulton says got a tour of the Carter Lake neighborhood that Stothard and Achola and the state of Nebraska want to bulldoze over 130 homes in a neighborhood purposely neglected by the city. Hope the people that enter the property to tell them their home are getting to be torn down take extra special safety precautions. Those homeowners are not going willingly.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of them are.
Well, I don't know if this is the same. I don't know if this is the airport park area. Not sure if you're talking about that or not.
I believe so.
Let us know if you're talking about that or if there's something else going on. Because this is the first time I'm hearing about 130 homes that might get bulldozed. They haven't even really they haven't decided on which area the airport park's even going to be in. So I'm sure they're not out there telling people their homes are going to get bulldozed over the airport park stuff. But maybe you know something I don't. But as far as I know, this just might be this is the first I've heard of this. So this might be a whole different project.
No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's two areas that they whittled it down to two areas. And one of them is the 130 homes.
Okay, so they're saying that's what he's saying. He's saying that if it goes in that neighborhood, those are the homes that are going to be bulldozed, and they're already making a tour in that situation to see what the homes are. Okay, and as we were talking about, they had that meeting that the neighborhood association meeting that they had last Monday that Sherman Wells chimed up on at. Mm-hmm. And the president of the neighborhood association was like, "Well, I'm old and I'm gonna sell my stuff." Some people did want to sell them and bounce, but this is the first time hearing that it was going to be 130 homes that they're talking about possibly bulldozing and more. So yeah, if the airport park goes there now, it ain't just they're going to come bulldoze the homes. They're going to try to make comparable offers to people to buy the properties. Some people will take those offers. And it's not we've heard the worst case scenario is the eminent domain going and tear people's stuff down and move them out forcefully. But we don't know. We're a little bit far away from that. But I guess if you own a home, you probably are concerned about it right now for sure.
Yeah. Sue Kessler Hagen. She says, I have a friend who is one that is going to lose their house over this. She is very upset about losing what they put their life into, which is a big thing. A lot of the homeowners have lived there. It's been reported for several generations. Built on these houses. It's Big Mama's house to some people, and now they hear that they're going to be losing it. And then also to Kimra's point, she says 72% of the people living in that area are renters. So what does that mean for them who don't own the property? And the property owner is kind of looking at it as, they could be looking at it as a money grab. Like, hey, we're just own this property to rent it out to make some money. Here's an opportunity to sell to make some more money. What does that mean for the renters who kind of don't really have much say or as much say as a property owner in this? So yeah, there's a lot to it. And then of course there's the whole Relocation Act. So there are laws, kind of governing this, but as we've seen, the government doesn't always follow its own laws. So what does that mean?
Right. Good points. Also, something that I'm thinking about right now that is just hitting me right now. Actually, the answers we already felt that Monday meeting a couple Mondays ago. They weren't very forthcoming with answers about what was going to happen to these people's homes, and people were fired up, and they made it out to a lot of people were making it out to be like the people were fired up over nothing yet because we don't know, we don't even have the contract yet, and it's something's just hit me about that right now.
What's that?
That just the thought that your area is being discussed and that might happen, and you might not want to leave. And if you don't want to leave, now you got to go into a battle about trying to stay. And then ultimately, because this is something that is also the state is a part of, can give the authority or decide on eminent domain. Just the thought of those things might be happening is enough for you to rile up and feel like you want to kill the contract. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like was what was being stated. So it just is impressing on me even more so how the lack of communication, the lack of empathy in that area. You don't come and be like, well, I ain't got no answers for you yet. I can't tell you nothing yet because we don't even have the contract. We don't know which area it's going to be. Don't know nothing. So it'd be premature for us to come talk to you about all this. Nah. If it was your house, you would want some way in advance discussion about the situation.
And to that point, $400,000 has already been spent on the project. So again, where did that go? Why didn't it go towards reaching out? Why, you could have paid for mailers. There's some things that could have been done, and apparently that hasn't been done.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. And also we're talking about a $90 million project. It's kind of speculation, but I think it's a fair speculation to think that for a $90 million project, there will be contingency plans. Like you have to have already accounted for how you're going to acquire these houses once you get the money. Like, it's not like you get 90 million and now you spend time to figure out, like, it would be fair to say that they have at least an idea about how they plan to acquire these houses.
Right. Anthony Rogers right in the chat is making a point. He says it means we need to start talking to lawyers now. This is perfect for a brother like Dave Damina, who has a track record of seeking justice for poor and working folk. There you go. If I was living in that area and I owned a home in that area and I did not want this to happen, I did not, I didn't want to sell. I'm sure that there are some people in those neighborhoods that are looking at talking to lawyers. I definitely would be at least talking to a lawyer at this point. Wanda Lewis says the properties are valued at the lowest for the purpose of relocation and buyouts. Rick Fulton says it's historic area with some homes built in the 1930s. Neat Carter Lake Boulevard and Florence Boulevard streets that were built to connect city parks. Yep. Tamika Renee says I feel so bad for those homeowners. I wouldn't go without a fight. It's more to it than money. That's their legacy and family history. Yep. 90 million now, 180 million once it's finished.
And also, I mean, you think about it, if I was a property owner in that area, thinking about the changes that's happening downtown, thinking about what's about to happen to the airport, now ain't the time to sell. If I am going to sell, I might need to wait a couple years for all that property value to go up rather than getting, bought out for this project.
Property values are already going up. Taxes on those properties are already going up, creating hardships. it's almost like the beginning of them trying to push people out. They're
Mm.
doing the soft push first, and then continue to
Mm.
get harder and harder until ultimately, you never know. You know what I'm saying? So this is the price of change, though, man. You can look at it from this other direction too. Like, how do you develop areas? You know, we still are reeling over 75 freeway cutting through the neighborhood to this day. Still talking about it. Actually, people actively working at trying to get rid of the 75 freeway, so in order to pull the neighborhood back together. There's people
Hmm.
that are doing that now. So that's something to think about, man. You change an area like that can affect decades and decades to come. But at the same time, what's the benefits for that area, for the airport park to happen? What are the benefits of that? Lots of benefits of that. There's no way to get around that. There's going to be some pushback. There's no way to get around that. Any area that you go and do anything at. We just talked about Donald Curry, who's putting an apartment complex in the neighborhood on a vacant lot and still getting pushed back.
Hmm.
Even if there's something not there, you ain't even knocking nothing down or pushing nobody out. You still gonna get pushed back for doing something in the area. So I mean, it's a good question. All these things are things to contemplate with that, and you got to feel for the folks that are going to be personally affected by it.
Man, big time, big time.
Well,
Speaking of that,
mm,
Rick Fulton apparently speaking to the residents in the area. He says from people being impacted. It says from what this resident of the area told me, the intention is to get rid of this neighborhood that is somewhat run down and some buildings are not up to code. But the area would just then be shovel ready, dirt with no promise of anything being built. Hmm.
mm. Wanda Lewis says the project will be way over 80 million, 90, way over 90 million. 90 million is all they will receive. However, an additional 66% will be coming from stakeholders and investors. So that's something that, we keep on saying $90 million project, but this is a 18 million, $180 million project, really.
Yeah, yeah. RG also giving us a tip of just really, a real situation of what the property taxes are doing. He says, y'all talk about property taxes. When I bought this joint 4 years ago, property tax was like 800. Today it's 2,500. Man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's gone up thousands of dollars. I know that firsthand from family members that own the property in the area too. That's what I'm saying. It's the soft push out. The soft part of it is the gentrification here and there. Think about how many around my family's homes. I was told there's a Kansas City developer who has bought up all the homes around. So now the only homes that are owned in that particular neighborhood is owned by my family and Lavonia Goodwin and them.
Mm.
Everything else is an outside entity that bought up those homes and renting them to people. So yeah, it is what it is on that. That woman says those houses in Minnelusa don't need major repairs. It's a strong neighborhood. Sacrificing strong neighborhoods is foolish.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Minnelusa neighborhood was in that plan as well. That's really interesting too. There's a lot of history over there.
I don't know if it's in that plan, but it is very close. It's very, very close. I grew up in the Minnelusa area, went to Minnelusa for school. My grandma owned a house over there. Very historic, beautiful, beautiful neighborhood, very picturesque neighborhood. I don't think it's a part of that, but yeah, I'm kind of curious about the connection.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody's comments on this. Ariel's 402 says, as a homeowner in Bellevue, it is still in the back of my probably head that I have to prepare now for that same thing happening to me. I'm under no threat, but I know it can happen. I'm glad you made that comment because that's what I think about all the time too. In this country, you don't really own
Man,
property, bro. You see, even there was a situation up in Washington, um, where some homesteaders, a couple white families got together and was fighting federal.
talking about the Bundys.
Yeah, was trying to hold their land like at gunpoint. They didn't get to hold that land either. So white folks is trying to battle you, is trying to go to war with you over holding their land down. You got to know what it really means to own something around here.
Yeah.
That you can the 75 freeway is the perfect example. They just decide they're gonna imminent domain your stuff, take it from you. It's very unpopular, so they try to buy it first. If you don't want to sell, then they might feel like the progress of what we need to do here for the progress of the city is more important than your individual home,
Yeah.
and then or your individual neighborhood, and then there you go. So appreciate everybody that's jumping on this subject as well. I think this has been well talked about
Yeah.
today. This is one of my ongoing conversations too, for sure. But we'll definitely be keeping track of that. So shout out to everybody who gave us some information on the situation there with the airport park. We are still going to reach out to people over at OEDC and see if we can have some more discussion about it. And it might be good to talk to some of the people in the neighborhood too, man. Hear
Yeah.
their story firsthand on what they're afraid of. But really kind of shifted in my head this conversation. I appreciate you guys contributing to that, but it's shifted in my head a little bit about why that meeting seemed so unproductive. When I watched it, I just thought, man, what a waste of everybody's time. No, there's no answers here. People just hollering? Nobody's getting on the same page. There's no understanding. Um, and in the end, it's like I hit up the senators after that. Like, man, you guys' patience to be sitting in meetings like that is just
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Again, how can you have a knowledge sharing meeting when the answer to every question is I don't know?
And now it's hit me how unacceptable that answer is. You don't tell a bunch of people who might lose their homes.
I don't know.
Oh, no, I don't have a contract yet. We don't even we haven't even decided on the place. You might not get your house taken away. And if you do, we gonna and if it is, we're gonna offer you some. We're gonna.
Yeah. You got to know that they plan. You got to know that that's accounted for. Nobody's getting $90 million. Like, yeah, we might get the houses. We might not get the houses. Well, maybe we can build in that. No, like they come on, man.
And why even have the meeting if if that's all you're gonna say about it? Like that, like I don't know why. I don't even know. That's just unproductive. And I would if it was me, I would rather try to come with some answers for people.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, Rick Fulton is saying the same thing. Brother Wright was saying, man, class action lawsuit. Get with some lawyers. I'm sure they're going to, but I'm sure that the parties involved got them too. It'll be a battle.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a battle. This ain't the first time this happened. It happens
Mhm.
everywhere all the time. It happened to us with the 75 freeway. So what? So what's the example here? So
We'll see.
yeah. 8:13 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, once again, you're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And this is a discussion group here with our chat chimers. This is information that hopefully we're hipping everybody to and helping to get further in on the process of the discussion on these subjects so that we can, make our own decisions and get to our own actions on that. So appreciate everybody who's a part of this process. And ghost listeners too, who's tuning in, listening to these things. Tell a friend, let them know that we're having these discussions regularly 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 2 hours a day, so that we can come to some conclusions about some things. A few more stories in the bucket here that we want to pull out and jump on. And don't forget, extensive haps coming up in about 15 minutes. Get your haps together too. Let us know what's going on this weekend and this upcoming week. What's important to check out. And remember, we have the senators on Monday. And we'll be able to ask them some questions about some of the goings on that just happened this week, and also what to look for in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, man.
So in the meantime, between time, buddy, what's next on the roster?
We're gonna have to dive into it, man. Now is the time. From property taxes to tax credits. It's going down in the legislature as far as this whole battle going on over the Opportunity Scholarship Act. We've been covering this, trying to make sense of what it is, the school choice bill, as we were calling it, and trying to make sense of what's going on with this situation. Just to kind of give a recap before we dive into the latest out of Nebraska Examiner. Again, there was a bill pushed and actually passed by the legislature for the Opportunity Scholarships Act to provide a tax credit for individuals who would like to donate to a scholarship granting entity for private schools. And that passed. And then there was a whole ballot initiative that, we had people walking up to us at coffee shops trying to get us to sign ballots. Very aggressive, very aggressive. And apparently they were successful because that referendum did make it and will now be on the ballot in November, again, allowing the individuals, the people, to speak for themselves on whether or not they would like to support this tax credit school choice bill. And now there's more fighting going on, as Nebraska Examiner reports. Earlier this year, Senator Linehan issued a letter on January 8th that basically challenged the whole referendum authority. And again, this is surrounding taxes, and the Nebraska Constitution, what gives authority over taxes or revenue exclusively to the legislature. Again, Senator Linehan is arguing that the referendum process cannot revoke a tax law. Again, this is about a tax. This whole bill is about a tax credit, and she's arguing that, again, the people cannot really decide on taxes. That is an authority specifically given to the legislature. However, Secretary of State Bob Evnen, or excuse me, Attorney General, Secretary of State Bob Evnen, in a response letter on Thursday to Linehan, actually supported the referendum and says that unless a judge forces him to do so, he will not remove this referendum from the ballot in November. That's kind of where we are now as far as that back and forth. But more information is coming out from Senator Linehan. Actually, Aaron Sandiford of Nebraska Examiner, who is the journalist who wrote this story, posted on Twitter recently about another letter from Senator Linehan, which is the topic of conversation we really want to dive into with all of you, pointing to the role that nonprofits played in this whole situation. So it seems like she has yet another kind of smoking gun, if you will, or another route to try to stop this referendum making it to the ballot. Again, in this latest letter, Senator Linehan is basically calling out the Whites Family Foundation, Sherwood Foundation, for their donations to organizations such as Supporting Our Schools and some of the other nonprofit organizations that, again, played a big role in funding this whole move to get ballots signed. Again, the tax break is capped at $25 million annually for this bill. If demanded for the scholarships is high enough, but by the 10th year, $100 million. Again, hundreds of thousands of dollars went into getting this referendum passed, getting the petitions signed, and getting this on the ballot. Actually, Paul, do we have that? Do we have those letters?
No, you won't be able to see them on here, so I'm not gonna pull them up there.
Okay. So again, this letter, there's no response to it. I'm not seeing yet, but again, this is from a tweet from what is? I just drew a blank. Aaron Sandiford. I want to say Evnen. Aaron Sandiford is again laying out this letter from Linehan, and I would definitely would have liked to have shared it and for the people to see some of these numbers and how she's laying it out. But again, she's calling out these.
If we can see it. I'm not sure if you can zoom in on it. Okay.
That's enough for me to be able to read it. In the bottom portion of it, again, she says it is important to note that the Sherwood Foundation enjoys special tax status. Monies earned by the fund are not taxed. The Sherwood Foundation is clearly funded campaign activity without being transparent about its activities and has done so in a manner that shields its donors from tax liability. The information below lays out Sherwood's activities and its efforts to repeal the Opportunity Scholarships Act. According to the NADC records, the following organizations contributed to the Support Our Schools campaign through September 24th, 2023. And that's just one of the letters. She breaks down numbers after numbers after numbers as far as, there we go. As you see, she's pointing to Jane Cleve. Says Bold Alliance, apparently 24,000 in-kind donations. Open Sky Institute apparently received funds from Sherwood Foundation, funded in large part by the Sherwood Foundation, right, over the last few years. The Whites Family Foundation has also contributed to Open Sky. So again, the allegation coming out of Senator Linehan is that these nonprofits have basically acted as a tax shell and allowed donors to get tax write-offs for political donations, which again is against the law. It says after reviewing the detailed information shared, go back. After reviewing the detailed information shared in this letter, please provide a reply and share your confirmation or correction to my belief that nonprofits are enabling a circumvention of at least the spirit of Nebraska's campaign finance disclosure laws, if not explicitly violating them. So, again, a big accusation surrounding this whole school choice situation, this whole school choice bill. A lot of names that a lot of you have a lot to say about. The Jane Cleaves and the Susie Buffetts out there are apparently wrapped up in this. So again, what say you?
She bringing references, receipts, and everything on
Yeah,
this.
she laid it out. She laid it out in this letter. And again, this has been a heavy topic of conversation in our communities, as a lot of people are calling out these nonprofits about some of their activities. So again, this is not looking good.
It's something that this is definitely something that we got to continue to have a conversation about. It's going to be something that sinks in a little bit because now we're and this is what the first thing that comes to my mind is Linehan, who when all this stuff was going down about the ARPA funds, the 1024 money, OEDC getting 90 million for this airport park and so on. I remember Senator Wayne standing in the legislature answering questions that she was throwing out, like, well, who is the OEDC? Why are they getting 90 million? I thought this was not supposed to go to nonprofits. She was asking all these questions, and I thought to myself, this is an interesting setup here. It's not just the senators standing up there saying what they're saying. This is other senators in the room that are like, why do we give so much money to this and that? And I'm thinking about, oh, she chiming up a little bit, and now and now this is interesting. Kimmer says Linehan clearly forgot about the NADC, who tracks all of this. Who's paying attention to the tracking though? I mean, this is like definitely news. After, yeah, they are probably. I mean, this is where you can get the receipts. I'm sure if it's being tracked, but that's not telling the story a lot of times. It's interesting. Tony Johnson on another subject. Black Nebraska should create their own schools and utilize vouchers to teach our own.
Well, he's kind of talking about the same subject. Again, there's a lot of layers to this whole thing. Like, we haven't even really gotten into how the actual tax voucher works and what impact that can have on our community. But again, this is the big point of it as far as how this whole thing was funded and the role that, nonprofits may have had in light of, a lot of the conversation that's been going on surrounding nonprofits, especially as Paul mentioned, the funds that they got from LB 1024 and just, the impact that it has had on the community.
Yeah. Let's see. Tony Johnson says Sherwood Foundation funds a lot of neighborhoods, schools, and other efforts. Unfortunately, everybody has Sherwood funding in their organization bank account. We talk about it all the time.
It's real.
Anthony Rogers Rice says this is such a horse poo-poo letter. The white supremacist Betsy DeVos spent much money on this school choice initiative and bought plenty of Negroes to help her. Bought plenty of Negroes to help her in the process. Where was Linehan when that happened? She knows she has no leg to stand on. It's a feeble attempt to dissipate the power of the people and no more. Okay.
Okay. So you think this is something that should go to a referendum? This is something that the people should be able to vote on.
Here's Kimber saying these are not receipts. The Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission tracks all of this. Linehan is having a hissy fit. Okay, getting some different perspective from some of the brains in the chat. Appreciate that. Where can we have access to the letter?
It is on Twitter. If you go to Aaron Sandiford's Twitter account, he posted. It's the post.
Shout out to Aaron Sandiford, who is a writer for the Nebraska Examiner.
Yep,
that we've been pulling stories from. So appreciate that. Talking about education in the Black community. Just one little comment on that. We talk about it would be ideal if we can build our own schools and then be able to use some vouchers for that. But as we also looked into that deeply and spoke to a few people, I remember Dr. Umar saying that in the first place too. He's like, it's not the vouchers will cover a certain amount. Families got to cover the rest. Kind of sets people up to fail on that tip because they really can't afford it. We just don't have the infrastructure yet to be able to do that, to build our own schools and be able to have people. You can build your school, but how do people pay for going? There's always going to be a need to reform public schools because a lot of people are not going to be able to afford to do anything but go to public schools. So
right.
They can't just be flapping in the wind. Anthony Rogers Wright says, I believe referendums for sure. The people need to be the fourth branch of government.
Okay.
When it comes to the three breaches are being derelict in their duties. The other three branches are being derelict in their duties. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that as far as letting the people speak for themselves.
Yeah. Bring it back to the fourth estate, which is, that's the press pulling this stuff out and the people speaking for themselves on the real.
Right. Um, I did want to get into what Kimra was saying about Linehan Linehan. She says she is mad that it made it to the ballot, and I did want to point out some details surrounding that and why Sister Kimra might be feeling that way. Again, I do want to point out that Linehan Linehan was the senator who authored the Opportunity Scholarship Act. So this is her bill. She authored the bill, and the bill passed. She got the bill through the legislature, and then came this whole wave to pull it on the ballot, which is I'm assuming why Kimra is saying that she's having a hissy fit on trying to block this from making it to the ballot, and she's apparently doing anything that she can or anything she can figure out to stop that.
Oh, I mean, but she's bringing some stuff to our attention
That
that even though it has been tracked, we haven't been. It hasn't been a subject of conversation for us.
Yeah.
Like Marianne Williams is saying right here, Linehan is not a true ally, but she's not the dragon that left paints her to be either. Binary thought processes exclude logic sometimes.
Yeah, the two things can be true at the same time.
Totally. So, again, we do a lot of, we were just talking about this last night, as a matter of fact, we do a lot of, everything is personal, especially when it comes to politics. And we do a lot of, it's personal. Everything is personal all over the place. Now I'm thinking about it. We even the debate about whether or not you separate the art from the artist is really about whether or not you dig somebody's music or if you don't dig it because of who they are.
Yeah.
So everything could be personal, but there's also the subject. There's also the thing. If there's things that are going on with nonprofit organizations that we didn't know, this is good information. Wherever it came from and why ever it got brought up. So. So it would be interesting to see, and there's more to pull out. I appreciate Marianne Williams' comment on this because it provides some nuance there. We could be talking and asking. We can see what's happening. I like the different viewpoints about her reasons behind bringing these things out now. But it's also interesting the things that she's brought out. Wanda Lewis says if this goes through, they will award a contract to organizations to distribute out the funds like early childhood development with the other child care centers. Kimber Snice says Republicans are definitely scared about the ballot initiatives that will be happening, but it's all we can do with the state Senate set up the way it is. Okay. So
as far as the referendum. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I did want to get into a little bit about how the credit could work or what the credit is, as far as the bill has been written, kind of going along with Sister Wanda Lewis. If this does go through, what does this mean? Again, under the law, taxpayers who donate to scholarship granting organizations, which to Sister Wanda Lewis's point could be, so like some of those organizations she laid out, can receive a dollar for dollar break from their state tax income or income taxes for up to half of what they owe. Defenders of you can cut your income taxes in half. Defenders of the tax credit say donors would still pay the same overall amount. A person with a $5,000 tax bill who donated $2,500 to a scholarship fund will still pay about $2,500 in state taxes, but the state will only receive half the original amount owed. The tax break cap again is $25 million. However, if demanded for the scholarship is high enough, by the 10th year, that can go up to $100 million. Of course, public school advocates, including Support Our Schools Nebraska, which is kind of the topic of Senator Linehan Linehan's letter. That's the entity that received a lot of the funds from those nonprofits. They have argued that the tax break is a first step toward a broader voucher program that would divert public funds for use by private schools and could constrain how much funding is available for public schools. However, some argue that private schools will cherry pick students who help stabilize public schools and leave the public schools with a higher concentration of poor and special needs students. Defenders of the program say its cost pales compared to state money spent on public schools and provides options for students. So again, the debate still rages on about, what this means for funding of public schools, what this means for low income and special needs students. Again, we talk about the OPS, closing their special needs programs? Is this funding that could possibly be going towards these scholarships? Is that taken away from funding that could help bring back these not programs? Maybe, maybe
Mm.
not. Again, we also talked about OPS not taking in more funding that they could have received. So again,
Yeah.
it's a very, very nuanced conversation. And also what Tony Johnson asked about, if this does go through, if this does stick, how can we in the community start our own private schools and develop our own situation as far as our own answers to the problems that we face in OPS?
I'll tell you as is. There has been some talk about building out some private schools in the Black community. So it is definitely worth looking at, trying to figure out, understanding the funding part of it, because that's the only thing that stops stuff like that is the funding part. And
Mm-hmm.
how does it get funded? Private schools are notoriously funded by normally funded by the parents and the people that are putting their kids in the school. Can people in our neighborhoods and communities afford that?
Mm-hmm.
In order to be able to run such a business. It's a private school, is a private business. So there's a lot of questions to ask there. If there's anything that's going to education that's already coming out of our tax dollars that could go to helping something like that, can it happen? I know that of people who are taking advantage of it now are white folks that are pulling their kids out of school over not wanting to have their kids exposed to critical race theory and stuff like that. So they're
Mm-hmm.
doing a whole lot of private, and also we know private schools are notorious for like not allowing people to come in too. It's a private school, so you can decide who goes and who don't. So there's a lot to that. Ms. Erica Fell says some private schools would identify a child as needing developmental services and then exclude them from the school, citing that they aren't equipped to provide the needed services. Yeah, very true. Ariel's 402 says if public tax dollars are used in private schools, then the public schools have access to the private school amenities.
Mm.
Should have access to private school amenities. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. All of it is worth contemplating to me, because your money's coming out of your property taxes in particular.
Yeah,
Fund these schools.
yeah.
We just talked about people's property taxes going up thousands of dollars. So should you have a choice on whether or not you want your money to go to public school or to a private school of your choice? Or, I mean, a lot of questions here on that. Maggie Miller Jenkins says we need to sue the state for corruption on multiple levels and vote in leaders that look with the lowest tints. I'm sorry, the lowest lens. None of this should be normalized as issues we just have to deal with. Yeah.
Talking about fixing the pond. That's what I'm hearing. That's what it sounds like to me.
About that life. Any other thoughts you guys have on this particular subject? Obviously, another. This is kind of a evergreen topic day.
Oh yeah.
We will continue to always talk about for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, there is a deadline, I believe. They have until September. I'm not sure the exact date, but they have until September to decide whether or not they want to push for a lawsuit to challenge this referendum again. After September, that's the September is the deadline for ballot initiatives or for things to go on the ballot. So again, we have until September to see whether or not this issue will go to the ballot or not.
What will you vote if it does? And it's my question too. Also, I don't want to lose sight on the reason why we were even talking about this. That is the main subject, the school vouchers and the private schools and so on. But there's also some side information here that has come to light that is very interesting, according to other conversations that we've been having
about what the nonprofits are doing and the influence that they're having, and how the rich are using them,
and the political influence they're having without being able to without having to disclose that. So this is something else to think about and contemplate and talk about further. We always are talking about that too, what the nonprofit organizations are doing and what the family foundations and stuff are doing in our neighborhoods. And I remember always hearing a lot of speculation, a lot of people that are saying, anecdotally that they're coming in and just buying up stuff. I mean, we can find data and numbers on all that, and this is to me like a step in that direction to understand what it is that she's talking about here, because we have to decipher that. I mean, that's a huge deal.
Right.
It's a huge deal. So we'll see.
Actually, speaking of deciphering that, I do want to, address Kimmer. She says she's bringing stuff to people's attention because she knows that most people aren't even familiar with the process.
Right.
She also says, I don't have an issue with her bringing the information up. The problem is the lack of context makes it easy to confuse lay people. And I'm kind of curious, like, what is the proper context that, we should be looking at all this information in? Sister Kimmer, if you have some more information on that, definitely love to hear that.
Yep. Appreciate that. Miss Erica Phelps says private schools do have access to public school developmental services.
Okay.
I had to pull Boogie from a private school because they refused to utilize OPS for speech therapy for his stuttering. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Maggie Miller Jenkins says systematic change and accountability. How does a public school system refuse to utilize over $3 million in funding and then turn around and close three special ed departments? This is all greed. I think it's more than just greed too. It's also like lack of vision. It's also like Republican values of like, we don't want this. We don't want a handout. I don't have any, like, I've been trying to contemplate that idea. When we heard the news that that people in the legislature have been trying to get them more money and they've been turning it down while they don't have special ed teachers and teachers need to be paid more and everything that's going on. Why would you turn money down? No, we got enough when you got all these issues going on. So I don't know. Marianne Williams says public schools are as ableist and racist and cherry picking as private. I don't know why people don't fix that so we don't need vouchers. That's my point. Even if you got vouchers, even if you got private schools, whatever's going on, it's all going to take money. A lot of people don't have it. Most kids going to go to public school. And so you got to fix public school. It's like you got to, if you want to try to do both, but you can't leave out fixing public school. Got to be fixed. That's all there is to it.
Man, Miss Erica Phelps kind of doubling down on that point, saying agreed. Davis Middle School principal told me that if Boogie is autistic, then maybe Davis isn't the school for him.
Man, what a statement.
Man.
She just called cat out on that one. Who the middle school principal? Let me go see who that is. Yeah, that's wild. Marlon Harrison. Oh, let's see, case by case basis. Marlon Harrison, Maggie Miller Jenkins. The vision is clear: rugged capitalism for the poor and regal socialism for the rich. Marianne Williams. I'm so tired of the demonization of private schools as a means to continue funding our crappy public schools. Demonization of private school as a means to continue funding our crappy public schools, especially when the public schools are not even accepting
taking the funds.
Come on, man. Margie said they probably call them woke handouts. Come get your woke handout. Pretty much what I said, Kimra. Like how she's the author of the bill that passed, but then had a referendum on it and she lost. Like how Betsy DeVos has been involved with these people. A whole lot of you should bring on someone who's involved with the referendum. Okay, let's find out who that is, and we'll definitely ask him. Miss Erica Phelps says that that was after Boogie was assaulted, his first school fight, but because he didn't respond to a child in the hallway. Was that in public or private school that happened?
Yeah, I was trying to wonder that. Is Davis a public or private school?
Davis,
Davis Middle School.
Yeah. Let us know because I think I know, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Kimmer says it actually came up last night at the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table Member Showcase. Okay, what thing came up? I'm sorry, I'm losing. She's bringing somebody who's involved. Pretty much like I said, she's the author of it passed. The referendum you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the bill.
Mr. Yarbrough says public school. Okay, interesting.
Okay, Davis is OPS.
Interesting. Okay. What you thinking?
Man, yeah, again, there's a lot of layers to this. Yeah. As far as like the need for different options, and I said it before, and I'll still stand on that position as far as. Well, I'll put it like this: right now, the bill did pass. So right now, the Opportunity Scholarships Act is it like that is a thing. The tax credit exists right now.
Right.
Where will it be after November? I don't know. If it is, then we should look at how to build schools and how to we should look at how to take advantage of it and build schools that aren't going to, as I agree with people saying as far as the possibility of public schools cherry picking or private schools cherry picking. But if it's a private school, of us, for us, by us, then we might have a better chance as far as our young folk in the community. So if this is going to be a bill, I do think that we should look at how to build that ourselves. If not, then OPS is all we're gonna have, and we should figure out how to fix that.
We got to do both. I'm in the realm of building for us by us. I come from that. My family started schools that my first 5 years of schooling was in. So, and I'm all about it. I'm all about efforts. That's a future idea for First Sky Omaha is to build our own school for us by us. But everybody's not going to be able to afford to go to it.
Mm-hmm.
Most kids are going to go to public school. We can't not fix public school and put our efforts and concentrate our efforts on private. I think both should be going on. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Folk who think shuttering of public schools is a good idea need to go to New Orleans, which has no more public schools and is still one of the biggest education gaps for black and white folk in the country. Outlaw private schools and fully fund public schools. Finland has 100% literacy rate and private schools are outlawed. Also, maybe pay the damn teachers, right? Especially if people are trying to get you more money to do that, do that. Don't fall for the okie doke. We will not be able to take advantage of this. We will get played if we fall for this.
Okay.
Bro, Dr. Umar was saying the same thing, bro.
He was.
The senators have come on talking about this, and I think and part of their point was they work with kids in OPS all the time, and OPS is failing the kids. We need other alternatives. We need other ways to be able to help. But you can't just do that and then not really put in the efforts. And I think public schools need to be whoever's blocking the legislature getting them more money needs to be have a talking to, as far as I'm concerned.
Like as far as OPS, whoever is turning down the extra funds,
whoever's turning down extra funds that people are trying to get them to do stuff like sure up special education teachers, pay teachers better, do things for the school system that's 80% kids of color. Whoever's deciding that they don't need no more money, and however whatever way they're solving the problems without no more money, I don't know. They weren't. I don't know if everybody would be so mad about money going to vouchers if there was enough money going to OPS in order for OPS to be fixed and things to work.
Yeah, Wanda Lewis says it's intentional.
Man. Yeah. So interesting. Let's leave off on this and come back to it.
Chat's going off.
Yeah, chat's going off. But I will say Marlon Harrison, who is in the district, working in OPS, he says, as a fellow educator, for those who say open our schools wouldn't be able to handle the issues we see on a daily basis. So there's somebody from the inside saying that too. That's the other thing you got to consider as well.
We're talking about behavioral issues.
Issues with the parents, so on and so forth. There's a lot going on. I want to leave off on this. Moving on from it, I think we got a good idea, a good grasp on what everybody's kind of feeling and thinking on these things. But I don't want to leave it out there that whatever Linehan's intentions, she brought some stuff to our attention that we need to also contemplate and consider about how the nonprofits organizations are working here on all of this and what their role is in it. We think of Sherwood Foundation. We think of those daycares and stuff like that they run. I mean, there's a lot to this that is also that part of it. We're a nonprofits town. We talk about this all the time. Family foundations and nonprofit organizations are funding a whole bunch of businesses and a whole bunch of things that's going on in our neighborhoods. and we're finally kind of seeing, some behind the scenes, some intentions on their part, something to kind of definitely look into. So even though we're going to continue to talk about this situation with the school vouchers, which is the top of news, it's not. I don't want it to be lost on us that Linehan has brought some things to our attention that yes has been tracked. We didn't know how the system works. We're learning how the system works, and we just happen to now are starting to get it through something that some letters that she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever the intention is on that, cool. We'll get to the information side of that, which is extremely interesting to me, and something we all have to consider, especially in our world, like our world, especially you guys. We were some of the pioneers of starting nonprofit news in Omaha. Like we were actually one of the first ones to do it over at Mind and Soul.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, funds from family foundations, funds from nonprofit organizations, all this stuff is extremely like, man, we've always been a open organization here that tells you where it is we're getting our money from, and we always are like, we don't take money from anybody that tells us what we're gonna say and not say.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it? But what is it? What is it also in support of? These are really important questions for all of us, because all of us are attached to some of these nonprofit organizations one way or another, even if it's their certain ones buying up your neighborhoods, like we always talk about and complain about. So and that's been in the conversation every step of the way. Even the 450 million that the senators got for North and South Omaha, it's now the conversation now is, why are these
Nonprofit.
nonprofit organizations getting that money?
A bulk of it.
The bulk of it. So it'd be interesting stuff to talk about. There is a event that's happening on Monday, Empowerment Network event, and I dropped the ball on trying to get the brother to come on and talk about this today, which is the day I wanted to see if Brother Barney would come on, and I dropped the ball on that, thinking that this was later on in the week, but it's actually Monday, March 4th. I don't know if we'll try to get him on Monday maybe and see if he wants to talk about this a little bit. But the reason why I'm bringing this up too is because of that very thing, man. LB 531, next steps. We're talking this economic development that's putting this on Village Empowerment Center on the campus Omaha Home for Boys. We've been there before. This is follow up and next steps, the second meeting to the meeting that we had a few weeks back on that. That the whole premise of that meeting was really to talk about next steps, man. I can't go back 2 or 3 years and talk about what the 531 money is, the mishandling of it and all of that. We got to figure out what we can do with it. Who's getting it now? What's coming now? What if there's some more funds out there for people to get, and most importantly, resources for people to be able to act right with that money if you did apply and got it. Of course, nobody got any money yet, but if you did apply and get it, then we got resources here that have come to my attention through these meetings that will help us make sure that we are able to not get ourselves in trouble with the state over that. So yeah, just something to bring up. We'll be talking about it. But these are kind of those are the kind of platforms that we can kind of talk about some of this stuff. Going into the chat real quick.
It's going off.
Chat's going off. Appreciate you guys for sure. Before we get to the haps, which I'm gonna get to in a minute.
I'm looking at the time.
Haps, bro. But the casino said fixing public schools means that there are systems outside of the public schools in which we've created to address the social disparities of the in general, the oppressed and impoverished children. Yes, racist white women as educators on one hand, then uncivilized savage parents on the other. We the BAA focus on creating systems outside of that platform that when our children enter into the environment, it is not as foreign because we have sent them to school prepared and laced with knowledge first and foremost self. Appreciate that comment for a couple different reasons. The BAA, of course, we've been talking to folks, telling people about the BAA. The BAA is all about self-sufficiency, doing for self, and promoting self. But you also mentioned something here that I never heard before. You mentioned before that when they need some training before they get into those public school environments. So you're not counting out the actual public school, but you want to give them tools to be able to navigate the public schools when they get in there for some of the things that they have to deal with there that is making it so that they don't thrive. I like that idea of that's kind of like a responsibility to ourselves to how we can circumvent some of these things too. At the
Yeah.
same time, we got legislation pushing to get them money so that they can do it on the money level, and we got people like Brianna Fool that's in there trying to push on the board level to make them act right and do things. We need several different points at which we can make sure that the black and brown children that are in these schools win.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm hearing what Brother Marlon Harrison is saying, some of the things that teachers are dealing with as far as behavioral issues and things like that, if it's to the point where, the legislature is having real conversations about arming the teachers, like, what is really going on in these schools? What is really going on with the behavior of the students? Kimra talked about, some of the fights and things are going down at the transit center. The bus, we talked about, the issues with the bus. The bus transit center is right down the street from North High. Like, going to North High, a lot of students are walking down there. So my whole point is, what is going on with the home life, the behavior of these children, the home training of these youth? What was going on with that as well?
Lots of
We,
factors.
we don't know, right?
Tony Johnson, remember when the black churches had after school tutoring and parent groups? The community dropped the ball on this and nonprofits picked it up with their warped solutions. Ooh,
Mm. Mm.
I'm dropping the mic on that, Brother Johnson.
Think it's time for the haps.
Time.
What's the haps? What's happening? What's going down?
We say we're going to have an extensive haps every time.
We try.
We get caught up in that conversation, man, and there's no getting around it. But we will jump into the haps now. There's a lot of things going on for sure. As we talked about that Empowerment Network event, this might be something here that you want to go check out Monday, March 4th. It was very, very positive, enlightening, and well attended, and also, what are the other adjectives I can use about this? We learned a lot about
Informative.
resources is what I came up with. I didn't realize we had so many resources in the black community, black businesses, professionals that can help you with your business, that can help you get funded, and so on and so forth. So shout out to them for putting this on. This is part 2 of that, a follow up. They're gonna give us some information. I know they've been working hard behind the scenes on trying to gather that information, gather the other funding sources and stuff like that. So that's what's up. I appreciate what they were doing this meeting, and I'm looking forward to this next one. This is happening Monday. I believe it's March 4th, 5:30. I'm gonna reach out to Brother Barney, see if he wants to come on Monday morning and talk a little bit about it. But I definitely encourage everybody to go and get busy with this. This is an interactive meeting as well. It's not, you're not just getting lectured to. So if you got problems, you got things you want to ask and say, come and speak up. But the reason for this meeting is so that we can just let's look at the future, man. Get to the next steps on what we're going to do about funding our businesses, and in the spirit of us getting together and really shoring up small business and large business in North Omaha, especially, and what we can do about that. So shout out to Empowerment Network, Black Men United, who's a part of this situation as well, who's helping put this on. And everybody else that's offering resources and things. So check that out. 5:30 Monday. That's definitely one of the big ones. Gotta put the new flyer out. Still missing, Brother Blake. Yep.
Yes.
Mr. Blake's been diagnosed with dementia. We're asking you to contact the Omaha Police Missing Persons Department. 402-444-4123 with any information. Hashtag where is Mr. Blake? We're still looking. I saw a post that Brother Wells put out that talked about the fact that springtime is coming. We're doubling up of the efforts again. Everybody, start really kind of looking and going out. There's campaigns going on to try to build some support for continuing to look for him. And so we're going to put that out. I shout out to everybody that's been putting it on their stories and stuff like that too. I've been seeing this flyer everywhere. So I'm shout out to everybody that's been spreading this flyer around too. Shout out to Sherman Wells and those guys for putting this together. But yes, still looking for the elder, Mr. Blake. So definitely want to put that out there. There is a pull up and vibe happening.
Okay.
At the Fabric Lab, 2514 North 24th Street. This is happening March 2nd, so that's tomorrow, Saturday. It's happening from 6 to 9. A shout out to Kara Marshall, who's been putting these things on. This has been a pretty successful event. And from what I'm hearing, everybody goes there and gets pretty vibey, feels pretty good.
Good.
about getting together, listening to some music, some performances, so on and so forth. This is series 3 already. So that's what's going on. Sing, rap, poetry, speech, comedy, dance, more. All kinds of stuff going on. This will happen at the Fabric Lab on Saturday evening from 6 to 9. So go check out Pull Up and Vibe. Shout out to Kiara Marshall who hosts this and put this together. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Got my man Mola B, aka DJ 43 on there on the ones and twos too,
There you
man.
go.
Bringing the vibes. Yeah, yeah.
DJ 43. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. You might know him as Mola B,
yeah,
artist.
I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what's up. Also, this weekend, what's going on. Omaha Film Festival is happening. You can still get your tickets for what's going on this weekend. It's a full couple of days left, through 3 days left. And you can always make this your staycation, man. Go check out some films. There's a lot of local films playing. Speaking of which, tonight is the night, man. March 1st,
Mm,
5:30 is going down. Divisible. I heard it's sold out, so there's nothing I can really even say about it right now. It's sold out.
man, that's
Uh,
huge.
it's very, very huge. So shout out to the sisters for doing what they're doing to push this, and shout out to everybody that got their tickets for it. If you got your tickets for it, I will see you down there. It's going down. Omaha Film Festival
Hey,
tonight. Divisible. Yep.
hey,
So
DJ Quick said tonight is the night.
tonight,
Hey,
tonight,
tonight is the
going down.
night.
I got in mid show. I got a text from Precious McKesson that was saying that Miss Ashley Vaughn had a big announcement today.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I think I just saw that. Yeah, big news. There you go, Marianne Williams, head of Nebraska Black IB Black girl running for Wayne's seat in legislature. We did talk about this a little earlier in the show,
Yep,
so
yep, yep.
I feel a little bad. I think we broke the news a little earlier than she wanted to. She broke it at 8 o'clock on her Facebook page.
Oh, okay. We got a
So
little
yeah,
ahead.
we got a little ahead of ourselves, but shout out to her for we've been wondering about the succession plan for Senator Wayne. I like this look right here a lot.
Yeah.
I think that she's a powerful individual. I was around when IB Black Girls started. I was going to some of those early meetings and seeing what was going on, and to watch it build to the level that it is now is amazing. And it gives me
Beautiful.
all the confidence in the world that she can handle the position. So that's just how I feel about it. We'll see what happens. Let us know how you feel about it. I think there's huge news though. Shout out to her for going ahead and I mean it's a service. We know now it's a service, man. It ain't no position. It's not about ego or nothing. None of that. You are spending your own dollar to go out here and serve and help
Man.
shape laws and everything you got to go through on this. So I believe she's been a ghost listener of the show, so she kind of, she's heard firsthand from senators, and I'm sure she has many other conversations and people that she talks to about all this is going to take. And all I can say is anybody who gets into the legislature, I feel for you.
Man. Oh yeah. It's
Feel for you.
yeah, it comes with a lot.
I
Comes
would
with a
I
lot.
wouldn't be able to do
But
that job.
man, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's not for the faint of heart. But if you're not familiar with IB Black Girl, the Oklahomans released an article talking about Ivy and IB Black Girl. Again, IB Black Girl focusing on Asian birth justice, Black-led investments, and advocacy and power building. So she's definitely already kind of been doing. That's her running for the seat is in her wheelhouse. And also just some other news. She's been named or a nominee for USA Today's Women of the Year. So yeah, she's making some moves,
Yeah.
man. She's making some big moves.
Shout out, man. Shout out. That's
Yeah.
really what's up.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I definitely want to reach out to her and hear from her firsthand on some of those things that she wants to get done if she gets that position. So shout out to her on that in a big, big way. I saw something that I haven't seen in a while. Clipper Mastery, a
Hmm.
Clipper School, old school phase lineups. March 10th, this is happening, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can text 402-714-5333. I guess this is a kind of a lesson in how to get your lineups happening. If you're an aspiring, barber, then this might be something you want to go check out or send some young folks to check out.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Appreciate that. Let's see. Ooh, there's some small writing there. What does it say? 104
You're looking at the number?
Cedardale Road in Papillion. Yeah.
Oh
No, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
looking at the address. Yeah.
104 Cedardale.
Cedardale Road, Papillion. Not familiar with this particular one, but barber instructor Mr. Brown is supposed to give you some instruction on some lineups. Send your son if you want him to get down, or go yourself. That's what's
Okay.
up.
From what I heard, it's a lack of barber schools in the community. So this might be.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
lack
From what
of
I heard, the
barber
actual
schools. Interesting.
The local barbecue closed down. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's a big industry. We spend a lot of money on our hair, man. We spend a lot of money looking good.
You ain't lying. One more I'm gonna throw up. It is 9 o'clock right now, so if you believe in the concept of time, we should be getting done here. But Omaha Housing Authority has a meeting coming up. This is the people that are involved right here. I guess Janie Poor, Andrew Bergen, Anton. But this is the news here. At the Essential Gathering Place, they will have a meeting March 5th from 6 to 7:30. Central Gathering Place is 5001 North 42nd Street in Omaha. Public of Omaha Housing Authority community is meeting a meeting to be held to address the community, family members, and residents of OHA properties concerns. So here's a something that I don't think is in the mainstream here that we're going to blast out and let you know. This we've been talking about this a lot. You know who the players are probably that are going to end up being there, but be a part of this conversation as well at the Essential Gathering Place, Tuesday, March 5th, 6 to 7. This is about the OHA situation, so definitely check
And
that out.
members of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development will be there too. So the federal, some of the federal government representatives of HUD will be there. Invitations also been extended to OHA, Salasaka, a few other people, and then also this will be hosted, I believe, by North Omaha Betterment Committee, North Omaha Betterment Housing Committee, I think is the name.
Yeah,
His brother Sherman Wells, Celeste Butler, and Miss Cheryl Weston,
yeah.
who's kind of putting this on. So again, if you are someone who lives in those properties or know someone who lives in those properties, this is your opportunity to speak up. There will not be media cameras there, and you can, I guess, remain anonymous. Like there's efforts to protect the anonymity or the
Anonymity.
the thank you anonymity of the residents, and again allow them to be heard. Again, it says don't miss the chance to let your voice be heard. Your voice is power. Please share this notice on all your social media contacts and with anyone you know who lives or has family in OHA towers or OHA public housing properties. So again, this is your opportunity to speak up.
And of course, that's on Friends of First Sky Omaha. If you need to reference that page and grab it and spread it around, definitely speak up for sure. Last thing I'm going to talk about
Yeah.
today is Tech Nine is coming to town.
Hey, strange.
It's going to be at the Astro on March the 8th, 2024. So if you don't know, if you guys haven't been to the Astro yet, you might want to check it out. I think it's the new spot over there. What, Papillion, Ralston, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
So
Building out there. Man, shout out to Tech Nine, shout out to Strange Music Camp. We don't really talk about music too much or really Tech Nine, but a lot of Omaha connections with Tech Nine. Man, shout out to King ISO.
yeah,
Shout out to Doc Beatbox, who's a DJ on tour with them right now.
yeah.
He's from Omaha, man. Yeah, a lot of heads, man. Helping push the most lucrative independent label in the nation right now, man. So yeah, shout out to Strange Music holding it down for the Midwest.
Shout out. That's what's up, man. We're going to get out of here, man. It's already 3 minutes past the time. Thanks for letting us kind of stick through it, stay through. Oh, don't forget to get your Zora tickets, too. Definitely check this out while it's over
Hey,
there at the Shirley Tyree Theater, Union for Contemporary Art. Go ahead and check this out. Even though it's not Black History Month anymore, it doesn't really matter because it's Black History Month all year long as far as we're concerned.
all right,
Go check it
all
out. Go
right.
check it out. Also, don't forget, we have one of the campaign managers for Dr. Cornell West, 2024. He's running for president. It's going to come down. It sounds like it's going, everybody's saying it's going to come down to Biden and Trump again. So who knows? Who knows how it's going to go? But there is a third choice in here too. So we want to give him a shout out. Shout out to him for him coming to town and talking to us, which was huge. And we'll see what's going to happen there too. Also, before we get out of here, another special shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee. Yes, I'm saying it with a P at the end of that. Drunk Ship Coffee. They get down. This is a family owned company right here, man. They source the beans from Ethiopia, one farm in Ethiopia. And go to drunkshipcoffee.com and order it up. And shout out to you, the Chad Chimers, man. You guys make me proud. They're like, you want me to send you some stuff out there? You think anybody be interested? I was like, man, I'm a shoot it to the Chad Chimers, see what they do. Chad Chimers been ordering it up, so I appreciate that.
Man,
So cousin sent he sent a box. He got a box on the way. He's like, man, do some giveaways then, since everybody got so much love for us. I was like, all right, cool. So we'll be doing some Drunk Ship Coffee giveaways. If you don't have a grinder, get it, man. This is the pure bean from the Ethiopian situation. It's not a bag full of
Yeah.
filler. So yeah, you getting the bean here. So get your grinder ready so you can get down, become a connoisseur. Shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee for sponsoring the show and the news channel. Don't forget to hit us up on TikTok, man. Definitely
Hey.
hit us up on TikTok. You're going to get your news minute and all the good things you got going over there. Shout out to everybody, all the early adopters that are over there right now, giving us love. Appreciate you very much. Yeah, man, I'm gonna give me RG. You talking about Paul goes your readers on. I shouldn't have to put the readers on when the screen is this big. They just need to quit typing so small. That's all there is to it. That's what I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it
Look,
right.
Brooke Allen in the chat said, "Good morning, having a cup of drunk ship right now." That's what I'm talking about.
Hey.
Yep. Shout out to the fam on that. Errol's,
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to roll out that tea. You know.
yeah. We're gonna. Like I said, I'm surprised they didn't go tea first because there's some tea connoisseurs as well. So that's what's
Yeah.
up, man. Errol's 42 says, "I get a little emotional, don't you? Don't fool around and make me mad." Tech 9.
Hey.
We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate you hanging with us, buddy. Got some words for the people?
Man, we really love and appreciate y'all for embarking on this endeavor with us, man. Joining us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the conversation. Yeah, man. We have one of the best chats, if not the best chat. So we really appreciate the input. Man, yeah. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. And with that, Paul B,
Yo.
take it away.
All right, man. Just want to thank everybody for joining us. Appreciate it very much. I'm looking for Pop says, where we at? Miss Erica Phelps says, great show. Don't forget Divisible about redlining in Omaha and the country is at the film festival tonight. We told them already. We already talked about this. It's sold out. So
Man,
ain't nothing you can do about seeing it tonight, but keep your eye on it when it's out here again for sure. She says, drink water and be good to yourselves. So yeah, appreciate that very much. Pop says, great show. Have a great weekend. Appreciate that. You guys have a great weekend too. It's supposed to be nice outside. Somebody call me up when it's barbecue. I'm tired of y'all calling me with all the politics. Give me a call when you grilling. When you fire up the grill, that's when I want to call. Okay, so let me know.
there you go.
Let me know. Somebody doing it's supposed to be 70 degrees tomorrow. Somebody firing it up. I might even have to bring Dragonfly out and roll around with the top down tomorrow. It's going down tomorrow. So yeah.
Man, I'll let you know Papa God throwing something on the grill. You know.
Somebody better let me know something. Tired of all this drama. It's time. It's close to summertime for me. Yeah, cook out.
Man.
Where the cookout at? Where the cookout? Hey, where the cookout at? Let me know.
Where the cookouts and stuff.
Him downstairs going to the cookout. Look, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate you very, very, very much. Yeah, man. I always make that appeal too. Like I'm a single man. Y'all make me a plate. Make me a couple times, man. Just a hungry single man. And hey, they be driving them by. Man, shout out to Wanda Lewis. Appreciate y'all.
Works every time.
Thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to all of our elders allowing us to speak before you. And thanks to our chat chimers allowing us to speak with you. Great conversations today. Great comments today. If you missed any parts of this show, go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube and check out all of the chats because they go in deep. Don't forget to hit us up on TikTok, man. That's where our news minutes are. We're also putting those news minutes on YouTube. If you just refuse to go to TikTok, you can check them out. Go to our YouTube page and check out the shorts because we have our news minutes in the shorts over there as well. So appreciate everybody that's giving us the support. Like I say, shout out to the early adopters and all the people.
Man.
Brooke, she said don't be sounding pitiful. You the one I'm gonna be begging her. Ain't you for your poor old brother?
Sound like Oliver Twist. Can I have some more porridge, please? More?
Just a spoonful of porridge. Yeah, man. Hey, it works every time, man. You gotta do what you gotta do around here, bro. You know.
Hey, no shame in this game.
Teach you young boys who don't feel like getting married. That's what you gotta do around here. You gotta have several mamas in town. Mama number 2. Play that. Yeah, it's going down. We will see you on Monday when we will be speaking with Brother Kasim and going deep there. And also we'll be speaking to Senator Wayne and McKinney And also, I'm gonna try to get Willie Barney on, man, to talk about the event that's going on that day. We want to make sure that he's relaying the information about what that is going to be. And I encourage everybody to go to it. I'll definitely be at that too, because I think that's the next best thing for our community, man, is for us to really kind of get together and figure out what resources we already have here. Because
Man,
there's a
there you
lot,
go.
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Appreciate you
There you
guys.
go.
You guys take it easy this weekend. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroads